Let's talk about how you got involved in politics and in public service. When did you decide to enter public service, and had your previous experiences and your education prepared you for that?
Well, as a young boy, I shattered my arm, compound fracture, and I was deeply impressed by the orthopedic surgeon who fixed me up. And from then on, I decided that my goal in life was to become someone like him, an orthopedic surgeon. Not just a surgeon, but an orthopedic surgeon. And towards that end, I studied. When I got into college, the first semester, I went into pre-med. But then I got old enough to volunteer, so when I got to become 18, I volunteered. And when I was on my final battle, when I was wounded and lost my arm, it became apparent that I couldn't be an orthopedic surgeon, although my professors tried to convince me to stay in medicine in some other field. But I decided something else. And in those days, the military gave you a whole series of examinations, written and otherwise, aptitude tests. And after the whole battery of tests had been completed, the panel concluded that I should be in some sort of activity that involved a lot of people. For example, I should either be a teacher, a social worker, a minister, or politician.
Interesting combination.
I checked out teacher and social worker, and they were getting paid $125 a month in Hawaii, and I said, forget that, you can't raise yourself on that. And the ministry, I felt, was not for me because I had sinned too much, although my mother thought I'd be fabulous. And that left political activity. And I must confess, I knew zilch about politics. I didn't care for it at that time, but I took a look at it. And when I got into the hospital in Michigan, one of the fellows I met there was Bob Dole, and we became good friends even to this day. And when I asked him, what are your plans? And he, without hesitating, said, I'm going to be a county clerk. After that, I'm going to run for the state house. First opening in the Congress, that's where I'm going. I figured that's a good idea. So I went to law school. I became assistant prosecutor. When the territorial office became available, I ran for that office. And when statehood came along, I got to Congress. A little ahead of Bob.
You were in the territorial legislature then before you came here?
I was there 2 terms in the House and part of a term in the Senate.
And then came here as a member of the House. And at that time, who did you come here with at that time?
The House had one member.
One member. Only one member at that time. Oh. You mentioned Senator Dole and the fact that you had been in the hospital with him in Michigan. It's amazing that some of these friendships were formed long before any public service of either one of you. Norm Mineta talks about being a friend of the senator from Wyoming, Al Simpson, and meeting him when he was a Boy Scout, and together. And you have a relationship with Bob Dole.
And the other one is Phil Hart. The building is named after him. All 3 of us were in the hospital at the same time.
Oh, really?
And all 3 became senators.
That is
just
amazing.
About the same time.
That is amazing.